All right, folks, good morning. We ready to get airborne. Fish, best first class of all times. I appreciate that, guys. Let's go and get airborne. I did feel, folks, we did really well last night. We had an absolute blast in the first options weapons school session. Real quick, let me welcome aboard all the folks that did not attend last night. We had a great welcome aboard brief last night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Fish, it's funny you say that because I got to be honest with you. When I got done last night, I was like, that was a pretty damn good in brief. And I usually don't say that. I'm usually my worst critic. So, folks, if you did not attend last night, let's go ahead and I'll show you where the replay page is so you guys can go ahead and watch the replay. That was a pretty damn good welcome aboard. Yep, a lot of folks streaming into the room. We also, Fish, we had a record crowd last night. That was our largest options weapons school in brief. That I've seen since I've been here. Let me just show you the numbers here, folks. Men lie, numbers don't. This is how many people we have registered for this industry-leading options training course. And like I was talking to Maureen last night, folks, so right down here, you can see we have Options Weapons School. This is the second time, meets 4 times. This is this week. About 8,000 folks registered for this industry-leading session, man. This is pretty cool. This is, and why? We've been here for 7 years, folks. Let me just show you. I shared in the chat box. Everybody should should have these 2 articles in the chat box. This was in the Huffington Post last month, and if you know my politics, you probably fell out of your chair when you saw that Wiz was in the Huffington Post. If you don't know my politics, you're going to know pretty damn quick. But the Huffington Post did an article, a feature article on me last month, and I guess the article did so well that the Huffington Post came and did a second article this month. So I don't know if they're trying to recruit me or change me on and make me run for Senate or Congress or president as a Democrat, but that ain't going to happen. But if you get a chance, do me a favor and read these 2 articles, because I don't want to spend any time today talking about who I am or any of that crap. Mainly because we talked about it last night. So if you did not attend last night, here is where the replay is. Well, there's only one on there, so it's is for now. So if you need to cut out early now, or you're going to miss tomorrow, or the wrap up on Thursday, this is the page where everything is going to be. See it? Here's last night's, the intro, the date, and you just click play, and this is the replay. Okay, so if people are already asking where the replay is, and I'm already answering it there. Okay. I appreciate that, Fish. They were trying to brainwash you subliminally, John. Hopefully I'm not that wishy-washy. If you also get a chance, just swing by our Facebook page, because again, I want to focus on trading this morning. We got all the strategic brief, the operational stuff out of the way last night. This is the tactical time. We're going to get in the market, and we're going to get airborne. Yeah, we're going to talk about volatility. The VIX is up. Tesla's rolling over. So we had some folks in the Ready Room last night saying, hey, I'm a little nervous about Tesla. I said, don't be. It's Monday. Little boy wonder making an announcement about some trucks on Thursday. I said it's going to be a sell on the news event. I said most likely the stock will start selling off tomorrow. And we're down 2%. So Tesla jumped 3% yesterday. I said don't do a damn thing, and Tesla's rolling over today. So let me get a hell yeah for all my people who didn't, you ready for this? Prematurely eject. We don't like to prematurely eject here at Top Gun Options, if you know what I mean. But check out the Facebook page, guys, because you'll find out a little bit vertical head nod. Hell yeah. Good, Marilyn. Awesome. There's a lot of, so yesterday afternoon, actually, I was doing a TV shoot down here in South Florida, doing a promo for my book tour. So that was yesterday afternoon. You can learn a lot more about me and what we do here at Top Gun Options. Here's some pictures from our member conference out in Lake Tahoe. This was my partner, the Mad Hedge Fund Trader, out there in Lake Tahoe. And there's just a lot of good stuff. I covered this last night. I'm not going to cover it today. Medal of Honor winner Thomas Hudner died yesterday at 93, the same day that GQ. Here's your morning whiz rant. Let's kick off our coffee here. My morning whiz rant that GQ puts Colin Kaepernick on its cover for Man of the Year, the same day this Medal of Honor winner dies, who crashed his airplane to save the first African-American naval aviator in Korea. This is a must-read when you get a chance, guys. Don't read this now, but this will bring a tear to your eye. So Colin Kaepernick, you can suck it. I think you're an overly paid, pretentious, spoiled brat. That's That's my rant. And that's about it. So there's good stuff on the Facebook page, guys. Check that out when you get a chance. All right. Let's, any other questions? Yael Tanka, why am I muted? You're muted because there's going to be a couple thousand people in here, and there's no way in hell I'm not going to mute a couple thousand people. That's why you're muted, so you can't talk. Hopefully that makes sense to you, Tanka. All right, folks, here we go. Again, I'm not going to, I showed you that there's nearly 8,000 people registered tomorrow. I'm going to open 25 slots, annual slots initially. If you're not up for an annual slot and you want to, which I showed you last night, one Amazon trade last week, a weekly options trade on Amazon, paid for an annual slot into this program. One trade for a full year. So I'm going to show you all that stuff. And this is good. And we're going to talk about VIX today. Yeah, you know what, John? That's a good. I saw that. J.J. Watts raised what? $37 million. J.J. Watts from the Texans raised $37 million for hurricane relief. I have yet to see Colin Kaepernick, or what's the other jackass? LeBron James. Has somebody please email me a picture? Email me a picture of Colin Kaepernick or LeBron James in the South Side of Chicago doing anything about the big issue, the real issue, which is black on black violence. I get cop involved African American shootings are horrific. They're horrible. They're very, very statistically, they're a decimal point. The biggest issue that's just destroying the African Americans in this country is black on black violence. They do shit about it, and it makes me furious. Can't stand it. Anyway, let's get airborne, guys. So there's your, if you can't see which way I'm leaning politically, you probably need more coffee. Here we go. Yeah, $37 million, Arthur, and Colin Kaepernick gets GQ's Man of the Year. Don't get me started. Here's our flight schedule, folks. We did our intro last night. I gave you the replay page. Watch that if this is your first session. You know, it's funny, Fish, you said that was one of the best opening sessions last night, and you've been here for about 4 years. Some of my partners, I guess, did Secret Shopper last night and came, and they emailed me this morning and said, "Hey, Wiz, send me a couple emails. We want to invite some folks in our database over." So this is awesome. This morning, we're doing the primary live trade brief. We're going to get tactical. I might talk about MGM, Tesla. We're going to take a look. We have to take a look at volatility. This is awesome. Volatility is alive. It's awake. It's also going to drop dead. So we're going to talk about potentially dueling trades on volatility, where you can be long volatility right now. I have a lot of my members in here that are long a bullish double vertical on VXX. That's printing money right now, but it's also time to get bearish on volatility. Wait a minute, Wiz. You can have two opposite trades on at the same time? Yeah. When you don't know what the hell's going on, put two trades on, and guess what? You're going to print money, which a lot of these people are. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and press. Tomorrow, I might send out an urgent alert, just a video of me, and I'll send out a text alert because I have way too much to cover today that I'll most likely send out a bonus trade to you guys in the options weapon school that have opted in. Wednesday night, tomorrow night, I'm going to give you a sample of what you're going to get when you join Top Gun Options of the training. So hopefully Maureen's in here last night. Apparently the in-brief wasn't that good because at the end Maureen said, "Hey, is there a book or a video where I can kind of learn the basics and then come here?" This is where you're going to get the basics. So I'm going to give you a demo tomorrow night. Caveman, cavewoman, maybe a bull put spread, something very, very caveman and cavewomanish to show you that this is the basics. This isn't super advanced reverse strangles with an iron condor cash secured put twist, which I just made up. That's not what this is about. Our final live trade brief will be Thursday morning at 10. Okay? Here's what I said. I showed you about 8,000 people are opted in. I'm going to open about 25 slots tomorrow night, and only annual because it's cheaper, and it's I only like, I got to be honest with you, people that sign up for an annual, they show they're committed. Usually we usually get rid of all 25 or maybe 20 of them, and then we might have a handful of monthly slots on Thursday. So make sure if you don't want to do an annual, you just want to kick the tires a little bit and come back and do it month to month, you can obviously split. Shahilish, keep the politics out of your presentation. The soul of America is freedom of speech. If you have a problem with freedom of speech, you are a much bigger disgrace than people who kneel during the national anthem. Shahilish, You just proved my point. I have freedom of speech. This is my company. If you want to split, don't let the door kick you in the ass, man. I probably don't want you as a member anyway, so why don't you split? All right, ladies and gentlemen, folks, my name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. Nobody calls me a disgrace in here. Shahilish, I served my country for 15 years, and I buried 11 of the finest Americans you'll never get to meet. So do me a favor and just exit now. Or if my admin's on here, do me a favor and kick that guy out of here. I don't even want that dude around. I graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which is known as Top Gun, and I also flew 44 combat sorties over Iraq. You know what's really funny is people who kneel for the flag and the national anthem have never seen anybody come home under a flag. Shahilish, have you ever seen your best friend in a casket under an American flag? If you've never risked your ass to come home under it, don't lecture me about the flag. You're a disgrace. Don't get me started. Freedom of speech. Well, good. The other 800 and now 900 people agree with me. So I wouldn't want you as a member anyway, my friend. Folks, real quick, cockpit to the trading pit, man. I was in the military for 15 years. I always loved finance, and I decided to apply everything I learned flying a fighter aircraft to the stock market and options trading. I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage firms in the world called Peak Six Investments. Incredible firm, incredible people. I loved the Midwest. You can keep the weather, man. Top Gun Options headquarters. If I want to get a good shot, right now, behind me is Fort Lauderdale Beach. It's just breathtaking. So no offense to anybody from the Midwest or Chicago. You can keep the weather, man. The people are great, but the weather sucks. I felt like Valentine in trading places, but little old retail trader, just like the nearly 8,000 people registered for this event. But it worked, man. Everything I'm going to teach you, I learned in the military. Okay, so let's go ahead and real quick, finishing my resume. I was a managing director for the $2.5 billion vol arb firm. I was the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, ONN.TV, and had an absolute blast. I got to get a new picture, but I actually love this picture. My son, Matthew's 17. Jack is 13 and Keely Grace is like 9. So I gotta update this. But this is why I served, and this is why I do what I do. When I did my TV shoot for Inside Florida yesterday afternoon, the guy asked, "Why do you do this?" I got to be honest with you, folks. I already made it. I made it on Wall Street. Most men and women, when they make it on Wall Street, what do they do? They pull the ladder up. Meaning, I got mine. As a military officer, and the way I was raised by my parents, one of 6 kids, when you make it, you put the ladder down. This is what Top Gun Options is all about, is putting the ladder down and empowering people like you to trade, to level the playing field against Wall Street. That's why we're here. Okay? Real quick, our portfolio performance here to date, the urgent alert, which I might give you tomorrow, and the weekly options on Thursday is up about $64,000. That's an incredible percentage return. These are based on $100,000 model portfolios. Okay. This is my embarrassing portfolio, right? Accelerated retirement. It's up only 50 grand. And then PLTB, this one's old. This is up about 20 grand. I needed to update this slide, but we're doing pretty good. Real quick, folks, I covered this last night. I'm going to not cover it again today. You lose some battles. I don't win on every trade. If you ever go to a presentation like this and the guy or the gal sits there and says, here's our 8,000 recent winning trades, they're lying to you. There's absolutely no way that happens. Professional traders want to win 60% of the time, and I'm shooting, we currently have a 72% win rate with our trades. I shoot for 70. That is my mission objective. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny. Somebody comes in here to lecture me on, lectures me on free speech in my own business. And the NFL is a business, folks. Here's the difference, and here's how stupid some people in America are. Free speech is a right. Your right to free speech is absolute. Unless you're on the campus at Berkeley or some other liberal campus and you're a conservative, then you have no free speech and you can get assaulted, but that's a different story. Work is a privilege. If you show up at my work, which is a privilege, and you exercise your right to free speech by taking a knee Monday morning at my work, I will fire you. Do stupid people understand that? Absolute right to free speech. You can say whatever the hell you want to, or you used to, not in today's America. Work is a privilege. Don't exercise your right to free speech at my work, especially if I don't agree with it. Exactly. Well, Savannah, it is exactly. They don't understand that free speech goes both ways, and trust me. On Twitter, I've been, when I express this type of view, I'm called a Nazi. It's ridiculous. I'm like, you call me a Nazi? I've almost been killed before flying an airplane, and you're going to call me a Nazi. It's funny though. People are keyboard tough guys, aren't they? They would never say. Well, maybe they would say this to my face in person, but I seriously doubt it because they wouldn't be vertical for long. I'm going to fix you today, folks, of being the average retail trader. Very, very tactical. We're going to get strategic. In about 3 minutes, I'm going to give you a brief of what's going on around the globe that you need to be concerned with. Then we're going to talk about what's going on here in the United States, and then we're going to trade. I'm going to try and get on 2 trades, time permitting, and add them to my model portfolio today, and we're going to be good to go. CP, let's not let one nutball rock the boat. No, I'm good. I've already forgotten. It just cracks me up that people lecture me on free speech and stuff like that. We covered this acronym last night. Not going to go through it. And then we also covered our 7-step trade plan. Everybody look at your download section to the right side of your cockpit over here. You should have that 1-page 7-step trade plan. Everybody give me a thumbs up that you can see it, because we need to get going and get trading. Good. All right. Everybody click on that, and you're going to follow me as we get going here. Okay, that's exactly right, Steve. Here's my last rant. And I said this last night, and I'm going to say it again today. Obviously, as you can assume, I raised my kids the way I was raised. My son wants to be in the Marines. My other boy wants to be in the Navy. Keely Grace isn't allowed to leave the house until she's 30, and she's also not allowed to date. But that's a different story. A generation, folks, on Veterans Day, I had the opportunity to meet one of the last of the greatest generation. This guy, 80 some, 90 years old. He literally was, he said he was 17, 18, storming Omaha Beach, man. Half his buddy, 90% of his platoon got mowed down by machine gun fire by the Nazis. I will tell you, 98, however, he was a teenager. If you think that a current generation of teenagers that are raised to disrespect the flag, to disrespect their country, will defend it, absolutely not. It's not going to happen. This country is in so much trouble, folks. It's not even, that's why I fight, man. That's why I try and do my best to get this thing back. 17, 18, 19-year-old kids today, they need trigger words. They need safe spaces. Their words hurt them. Try an MG42 as you get out of a Higgins boat on Omaha Beach, you jerk. Here we go. Here's our strategic brief. How long did that take? How long did my intro rant take? It's supposed to take 15 minutes. I'm 4 minutes. Here we go, guys. Welcome aboard. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, the thousands of people that have registered, this is the actual primary live trade brief. Every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., I get together with my members, and we skip the first 19 minutes of what we just did. And I say, hey, good morning, guys. Let's go ahead and get airborne. And we get immediately strategic, which is what I'm going to do. Here's what's going on around the globe. Read this headline. If the Saudi Arabia situation doesn't worry you, you're not paying attention. We are one F-15 short of being launched and a war in the Middle East. Wait, well, hold on, Wiz. I thought Trump defeated ISIS, and of course the media didn't cover any of that. President Obama called ISIS a JV team. Nice job, President Obama. Trump went in there, leveled them. Secretary of Defense Mattis. We dropped a Moab, the mother of all bombs. The president actually did the reverse of what Obama did. Obama was like Lyndon Johnson. Remember, you've seen pictures of Lyndon Johnson like looking over maps of North Vietnam. Lyndon Johnson's like picking out targets. The White House was so centralized under the Obama administration, they weren't allowed to do anything, the military. Trump gets in and says, Secretary Mattis, kill ISIS. Those are your orders. Go do whatever you have to do. Now that ISIS is gone, here's your newest Middle East. Holy crap, this will keep me up at night. Last week, or it was over the weekend, Iran supports Yemen is a complete shit show, folks, of a country. I've sailed past it. There's pirates. Everybody saw Captain Phillips. That's Somalia. But that whole area, it's an armpit. Iran supports Yemen. Saudi Arabia can't stand Yemen or Iran. And the Houthi rebels in Yemen are armed by who? Iran. They shot a ballistic missile last week at the capital of Riyadh. Now, fortunately, a Riyadh air defense battery engaged the missile and shot it down. The Saudi Arabians said that's an act of war. Iran has committed an act of war against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, does anybody, are you guys watching this on MSNBC, CNN, or whatever? No, they're still talking about Trump and collusion and Robert Mueller, who should be fired. And so should Jeff Sessions. Now the Houthi rebels yesterday said, we're going to fire on Saudi warships and oil tankers next. This is getting serious. I gave you at least 6 wizisms last night, and I'll say some of again today until they're second nature to you. I love going to live events because I get the wizisms said back to me sometimes. The market only cares when it cares, right? So, Comedy Central or Fox Business this morning, they're not covering any of this. If a Houthi rebel fires a surface-to-sea missile and sinks a Saudi Arabian gunboat, oil will be at $300 in a blink of an eye, folks, and the VIX will be at 25. Are you ready for that? Do you even know that's going on? Or are you a tactical trader talking about the Tesla truck launch on Thursday? Here's what's funny is people put trades on, and then by Thursday, they're broke because there's war in the Middle East. They're like, how the hell is my MGM or Tesla trade imploding right now? Breaking news, Saudi Arabian patrol boats sunk by Iranian, vessels. This is the stuff we have to talk about this. Well, exactly. Guys, trust me, we can get into the naval aspect of this. The Saudi ships all have trust me. You want me to grab here's my whiz cup from the squadron. I can talk about this all day. I'm not. So trust me, I don't think a Saudi ship's going to get sunk. I think they're they got the boats from us. Exactly. Next strategic thing we got to talk about. Read the headline, folks. For the first time in a decade, the U.S. puts 3 carrier strike groups, 3 CSGs, in a show of force off of Korea. Absolutely incredible, folks. Take a look at this. You ready? I landed on that one, I landed on that one, and I landed on that one. Everybody see the F-18s on here? I have landings, I have traps, they're called, not landings, because the ship traps you, man. You catch a cable, right? On every one of these ships. I know the commanding officer of that one, and I know the 3 commanders of the air wing. So the captain of the boat, the captain of the ship owns the ship. The commander of the air wing, CAG, Commander Air Group, owns all the airplanes. They're both captains and very senior dudes. It's funny because I think they're all idiots, man. I drank with those guys. That would be me. If I didn't go to Wall Street after my career, my military and life changed on 9/11, you guys can watch the story last night about why I'm sitting here. I'd be one of these dudes, which is creepy because I know I'm an idiot. So it's funny just to see these guys. I got my latest issue of the Tailhook magazine, and it shows everybody in their uniform and on their ships. I'm like, oh my God, those guys are idiots. I'm an idiot. Anyway, I don't think, and the president said, it just came out before I got on the air here, that when he lands, he's going to, he's got some news conference, or I don't know what's going on. We need to find out what's going on here. I don't know if it's about Korea. I don't know if China. I don't know what's going on. I don't think there's going to be, if there's a shooting war, you're not going to care about the stock market. The Dow will be at 1,000, the S&P will be at 100. If there's a ground or nuclear war, there will be tens of millions of people dead. So, there's Shalish. Thanks for admitting you are an idiot. Here's the difference between me and you, Shalish. I admit I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so I am an idiot. Why are you still hanging out, man? You want to see if I get dumber? What's going on next? This is a big deal, folks. I've been yelling till I've been blue in the face that this guy needs to be fired. So now we're shifting to operational. The 2 biggest strategic things going on right now. There's really nothing going on in Europe. Asia, I just briefed you with North Korea, and the Middle East, I briefed you. Now let's go with the O. Remember, you have your pyramid: strategic, operational, and then we're going to trade in a couple minutes with tactical. Now let's get operational and talk about the United States. Jeff Sessions finally, for the love of God, considers, doesn't mean he's doing it, folks, special counsel to investigate the Clinton stuff. In over a year, there has been zero, not one shred of evidence of collusion between Trump and Putin or Russia. None. In a year, year and a half. And that's with all the liberals in the media frothing at the mouth and digging and trying to find stuff. Not a word. When we look at Uranium One and Bill Clinton and the State Department and the revolving door between the State Department and the Clinton Foundation and $145 million, and here's all our uranium, and holy crap. The Attorney General of the United States meeting with Bill Clinton while his wife's under FBI investigation is horrific. So this is, I'm in an even better mood than I was last night, because somebody needs to go to jail. MW was on the Reagan. Thanks for your service, man. So that's happening. Let me slide this over because this is strategic about China. I got to be honest with you. I didn't dig Trump's. I didn't dig this. He was. I get it, man. He played good cop, bad cop over there. You know, he poked President Xi in the chest a couple times about North Korea, and then they were best friends, and then poked him in the chest. We, write this symbol down. Even if you don't become a member this week, FXI. You have got to take a look at FXI. FXI, if you don't know, write this symbol down. This is one of my Captain Kirk trades. You ready for this? This is another wizism. We have what we call Captain Kirk trades, meaning you got to put on a trade where you boldly go where nobody else is going right now. Okay? Not to say that people aren't going to look at the FXI, man. Now, where's Shahilish or whatever? Right about here, I'll admit I was wrong. We've had FXI long call diagonals on for years. We've printed money, especially, look at this. Look at the run for 2 years, the FXI. Wiz bails out right about here. So the FXI leveled off. You know why? Because this was right around when the president said, his Pulp Fiction comments on North Korea. What did he say? This is the leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief of the United States, sitting in his golf club in New Jersey, said, I am going to rain fire and fury down upon North Korea. I almost fell out of my chair, folks. I was sitting here. I heard that. I'm working. I'm trading. I'm like, what the hell did he just say? What did the VIX do? What did the VIX do? Harry, yeah, it actually went down a little. It did nothing. Exactly, Arthur. So, and the market went up a little. The S&P was up like 2 or 3 points. I'm like, did anybody just hear that the president of the United States said he was going to vaporize an entire nation? The market shrugged. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was wrong. I said, oh my God, let's bail out of FXI now, because I think I prayed to God. I said this in my live trade briefs, folks. I said, I would hope that before the president shoots any real bullets at North Korea, he at least shoots some economic bullets at China, right? And again, folks, I'm no dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporter. I'm a libertarian. I think the guy's a narcissist sociopath, to be honest with you. I like the policies. I don't like the man. So let me tell you, he campaigned on labeling China a currency manipulator. Huge. Day one in office, huge. Me, nobody does huge bigger than me. I'm going to label China a currency manipulator. Day one in the office, huge. Me, day one office, currency manipulator. Didn't happen. Broke that campaign promise, didn't he? He's a negotiator, folks. He's from New York. I'm from New Jersey. I get it. He's using that as a bargaining chip. So he's got that in his back pocket. I'm pretty sure he can pick up the phone and go, hey, President Xi, last opportunity. You either sit on that retarded nephew of yours, or I'm going to start hitting you in the wallet. So here's a perfect example, folks. I said bail out of FXI right about here as we leveled off, and then what to do? What did I do? Forget about it. What did I do last week, folks? We got back in it. So we can change our strategic mindset on a dime as options traders. I said to get back in right around here. We've had a nice little run in the past couple weeks since I said to get back in FXI. I don't know why I got tactical. That was wrong. But here, let me get back strategic. This is why, because I was talking about China. What else do we need to do here? So here's what's going on. Damn it, I already showed you the headline. Why is the market down right now? Or why are we a little soft? Somebody tell me. It's on the screen. Why are we a little down right now? This is why you have to trade like I'm going to teach you. SOT, strategic, operational, tactical. Why are we down? Anybody know? Bueller. Judith got it. Joe, it's on the screen. Exactly, guys. We are one world. Look at this. China industrial production, weak. Fixed asset investment, flat. Retail sales in China imploded. And direct investment, mixed. So this shows you, folks, that you can't be a tactical trader. You can't just trade MGM and Tesla and not worry about what's going on in Saudi Arabia, North Korea, or China. When I briefed you on my acronym last night, not fear, NOTFEAR, the A in fear was what? Asia. I briefed you on China and Japan. So look at this. Weak China numbers last night hit our markets. I don't think it's the Fred Sanford right now. It's not the big one, Elizabeth, right? So this is why. No, whoever asked that, I don't. It's not on the tax plan. So disappointing Chinese data is mainly what's going on here. Also, commodity prices are falling. Okay, write this down because I'm not going to have time to go through any of this stuff with these 8,000 people that are showing up. I would absolutely, we talked about a Jan. Let me look at the options chain on ExxonMobil here. Yeah, finally, folks, write this down and I'll cover this. Look at that chart, man. This is a beautiful chart. Let me show you again where Wiz was wrong. So Shahilish, if you're still here, let me give you another Wiz was wrong. We put on literally, I think right here, folks, I put on a Jan 19 long call diagonal on Exxon. And Wiz is in it, so let's do this. That trade was down, listen to me. That trade was down $7,000 at one point, the long call diagonal. By the time I closed it right here, it was up $4,000. How did I do that? So I was long-term bullish on ExxonMobil, and then it stabilized into a channel. Does anybody know, my members don't answer, please, does anybody know what I did in the front months? Steve, you're not allowed to answer, you're a member. We traded iron condors like you read about in This Stock is Channeling Sideways magazine. I turned a $7,000 long call diagonal loss into a positive $4,000, and we bailed out finally around here. And then right around here, I said, that's it. It's time to get back into ExxonMobil. Write this symbol down, guys. XOM. And look at what's going on. We talked about this in the last week's primary live trade brief, didn't we? I said, I think it's going to hit the top of where it did before, and it's going to channel again. Write this down, guys. Even if you don't become a member this week, put this on your radar. XOM. Look at this. Isn't this awesome? It bounced off these lows, and the Jan 19s are out. I'm not going to have time. Maybe I'll do the urgent alert tomorrow on ExxonMobil. The Jan 20s are out. So I'm going to teach you, when you become a member, folks, a tactic that makes us bullish on ExxonMobil out to 2 years from now, a year and a half from now. And while you're long-term bullish all the way out to January 20, you know what you do? You trade the front months. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll put it to a vote. I have a bunch of stuff I want to trade today, but teach me to be that wrong. Exactly, Arthur. That's so cool? People are like, oh my God, that trade's down $7,000. I'm like, guess what we're going to do? We're going to fix it with the front month. And we made $4,000 on that trade before it started to implode here. I'm like, let's get out. What's that? That's an $11,000 change in that trade. And now right around here, I said, get bullish. And with this rolling over right here, man, we'll get back. We'll talk about ExxonMobil. This is awesome. Tiffany, very good question. With the market running up, isn't selling front month calls risky? Tiffany, I'm going to give you, this is what I talked about this last night. I'm going to teach you an SOP, a standard operating procedure, with every trade that I do. So Tiffany, when you're talking about front month upside calls, Tiffany, let me answer this super fast since you have a good question, and then we got to get back on track here. When something is on a tear, Tiffany, you see this? That's an F18 going straight up. You get out of the way. You don't sell those front month upside calls. And if if I lost you on this part of the discussion, don't worry. I'll pick you back up in a couple minutes. Let me just answer her because it's a good question. Sit on your hands, Tiffany. This is a train. This is an F-18 going straight up. You either get out of the way and enjoy you making a shit pot of money, Tiffany, or you join it and start doing some bullish double verticals or enjoy it. Now, Tiffany, when something starts to level off, like it's doing right here, write this down, Tiffany. So write this down. 3 things. Tear, do nothing. If something's on a tear, do nothing. When it starts to level off like this, Tiffany, I tend to sell front month upside calls that are 2.5 to 5% out of the money of the stock price, obviously 2.5 to 5% above this, maybe the 85s or something out a couple weeks. Now, if something that there's an in between there, it's not a tear and it's a gentle climb schedule. Let me find somebody else, and then we'll get back to trading. But Tiffany, right here, you know what, Tiffany? This is a gentle climb schedule. So this would be a tear. If something was like, whew, that's a tear. This is a gentle. Do you see this, Tiffany? Write this down. Gentle climb schedule. I'd sell front month upside calls 7.5 to 10% out of the money. Does that make sense? Tiffany, do I have historical data that supports your profitability of your SOP? Tiffany, I wouldn't be sitting here if that wasn't the case. I've been doing this for 25 years. There's a lot of history there. That's where I come up with these, Tiffany. Something's on a tear, get out of the way. Something's on a nice climb schedule. I sell front month upside calls that are 7.5 to 10% out of the money. When something's moving sideways, 2.5 to 5%. Write that down. So why did I switch to tactical real quickly? Because commodity prices are going down a little bit. Oil's been on a tear, folks. Oil drags down the energy sector. I'm going to tell you right now that with potential war in the Middle East, let's take a look at the XLE. The XLE is kind of the energy ETF. Write that symbol down if you're not familiar with it. Okay. Kind of a little bit of a sell-off here with Saudi. Let me ask you all a question. How does the Saudi Arabia-Iran thing end? Somebody tell me. Do you know? Let me give you 3 choices. The Saudi Arabia-Iran conflict in the Middle East ends in war, peace, or we just keep going. Probably war. Pamela, Andrew, it doesn't. They've been doing it for centuries. Brian, thousands of years, keeps going. Matthew, Stephen, war, keep going. Rick, here's why I'm worried about it now is because this isn't thousands of years ago. This isn't when we're all on camels running around with our big, scimitar or whatever it's called. And with new technologies and F-15s and surface air missiles and Iranian air defense systems they got from the Russians, it makes a hell of a lot more likely. Kerry, you nailed it. Big toys now. And Brian wrote toys next too. New toys, same war. So, all right, commodity prices. Real quick, folks, and then we're going to get tactical and get trading here. I'm going way long with my strategic and operational brief. Listen to me. 75%. Where's October? Right here. 75% of the stock market's gains in October came from what sector? 75% of the market gains came from what sector in October? There's all my members answering. Nope. It came from technology, the FANGs. This rally, folks, has been very, very narrow. Matter of fact, somebody last night did a good job of saying, hey, Wiz, the Russell's actually not looking good. Anybody know what the Russell is? The Russell 2000. Okay, I'm a SPX guy. I'm not a Dow guy. I obviously look at the Russell 2000, ladies and gentlemen. So look at this. Tim, I get that, man. I got you. I got your 6. Look at the Russell 2000, guys. The Russell. That's America, damn it. The Russell 2000. 2,000 companies. Bear market territory, folks. Let's look at SPX. 500 big-ass companies. But guess what? A hell of a lot of them are technology. Whew. So we have the SPX on a rip-your-face-off rally, and we got The Russell 2000 imploding. It is, Greg. It is the canary in the coal mine. So it is the FANGs guys that propelled most of these gains. And as we talked about last night, most of the pullbacks year to date have been what? For the guy yelling about me discussing my politics. Last night, folks, he obviously wasn't here for the intro because I did this. I probably should have done this today. I brief at the beginning of these things is like, hey man, look at David. I hate your politics, but love the way you print money. Thanks for your service. Best money I've spent so far in my trading career. I should have, given all my snowflakes that registered for this week a heads up. Ladies and gentlemen, every pullback this year has been political. The failure of the idiot Republican clown car to repeal Obamacare. These cowards, yes, the Republicans are cowards. Excuse me. They vote 63 times under Obama to repeal Obamacare. They fail multiple times under Republican to repeal it. They're cowards. What else was over here? The infamous Comey memo. Oh my God, the last Boy Scout in Washington said Trump, turns out he's a felon. He lied under oath, or he committed a felony by using his FBI computer and memos and leaking them to the press on the FBI time, which is a crime. So he's not a Boy Scout. Here's Donald Trump Jr. committed treason by meeting with somebody to get opposition research, which it turns out the Clintons did, but when Donald Trump Jr. does it, it's treason. Here's the fire and fury comment. Here's the Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, and Gary Kahn have to resign because Trump's obviously a Nazi and a racist because of what happened in Charlottesville. Every pullback of the S&P 500 year to date, folks, has been political. It hasn't been the Fed. It hasn't been crappy earnings. It hasn't been oil. It's been nothing macroeconomically. So do not sit here and tell me not to trade or talk politics. If I didn't trade my politics, I'd be broke. So now let's get tactical. Okay. Let me share with you. I might make this post public to all my Options Weapons School folks, because we did this a couple weeks ago and this was huge, phenomenal. Let me start my tactical. So now look at this, folks. SOT, strategic operational. I gave you the best. Nobody does strategic operational brief better than me. Believe me, huge brief. Now we're about to get tactical. Let me share with you this. I should make it public right here. About 4 weeks ago, I did a strategic shift. And I'm going to go through this because I want to talk to you about this. You know what? Let me edit this post and make it public. Man, I'm giving stuff away. I got to be honest with you, folks. It's not necessarily all about the money. Trust me, I ain't no charity. This isn't the United Way of Wiz, but it is about me helping. I just enjoy. I love all these testimonials. I love people. Let me say, where does it say public? So I'm going to make this post public and update it. Why? Because let me make sure. Okay, there we go. Why? Because, like I said, I like putting the ladder down. JP, you're in here, right? JP's up north of me. We're going to go get drinks tomorrow afternoon. Brian, you're in here. We're going to meet on Friday. I enjoy helping you guys, man. I enjoy people. I enjoy when JP's like, dude, I'm up 120% in my portfolio since I've been with you last year. Here's why I'm giving you free access to this brief. This is where you need to be trading, okay? And then I'm going to do 1 or 2 trades in here, okay? Harry, we will start calling you Mr. Nice Guy. Well, there's a couple people in this that registered that are in here that don't think that. But here we go, folks. Listen to me, sit up straight, because now we're about to get serious. These are the 5 areas you need to be in right now. Tech, duh. I like Apple. Right now, folks, we have Jan 19 and Jan 20 trades on Apple that are printing money. Let's take a look at Apple real quick. Right there it is right there. Literally, we put on a Jan 19 Apple trade that's up about 15%, and it's out to 2 years. It's all the way out to 2 years from now, and it's already up about 15%. We've traded. Let's go with the 5-year chart. We've done long call diagonals on Apple, and when it does this stuff, folks, we trade the front months and get bearish or do whatever we have to. So you have to be in tech. Facebook, Amazon, we did a weekly options trade last week. So for all of you last night who said, Fish, I think you're right. I think it was a good intro last night because people were actually wanting to join last night, and we haven't even done any trading yet. I mean, I appreciate it, but that's why I don't open the doors until tomorrow night. I mean, hell. So this Amazon bull put spread, this is a weekly options trade. We put them on Monday. We can close them Monday. 15 minutes later, we can hold them to Friday. We could add a new one Friday. We trade the hell out of it. It was the 1107 and a half, 1105, and it closed. If you took this one all the way to expiration, that is a full. That's when we put this trade on. It had a 73% probability of making $1,500. So if you want to join Options Weapons School Annual, if you were here last week, I paid for an annual subscription to this. So let's get back to this. This is why I brought up Amazon. Facebook, I can't, and last night I told you that I wear two suits at Top Gun Options, a flight suit, an American. I'm going to give you my opinion on stocks and politics and everything. And then I wear my Gordon Gekko. Everybody's seen the movie Wall Street, right? Greed is good. I can't stand Facebook. It makes my skin crawl. I can't stand Apple. Does everybody remember the San Bernardino attack? Another religion of peace. Isn't it interesting how when a white dude mows down a bunch of people, Democrats and liberals, every gun owner is horrific and evil and give us your guns. When a Muslim or somebody Islamic mows down people in New York City or takes a machine gun in San Bernardino and kills a bunch of people, it does not reflect Islam or it's just some lone crazy person. Did anybody see any hypocrisy or stupidity there? My point being is, folks, here's why I can't stand Apple and Facebook. Anybody remember that the FBI asked Apple, they said, hey, can you guys help us unlock this iPhone? Dennis, I'm up 108% with one contract. That is awesome. Good. All my members are listing their Apple gains. I appreciate that. So Tim Cook said, no, we're not going to unlock that iPhone. Privacy concerns. So let me get this straight. We could maybe save more American lives, find out intel, maybe arrest some more terrorists. You're not going to unlock that phone. No, privacy concerns, America. But they use 10-year-old boys and girls in China to build iPhones. They install software on their iPhones in China so the government can monitor them. But here in the United States, they give our government the finger. I can't stand limousine liberals, folks. Makes me furious. Facebook, Zuckerberg. I think $200,000 in Facebook ads were bought by the Russians, and we're going to turn over all of that data. So I love how these limousine technology liberals, when it suits them and their side, they wrap themselves in the flag. But when it doesn't suit them, they don't. So anyway, guys, I can't stand these tech stocks. I love them. So as Gordon Gekko, as your portfolio manager, we're going to print money on the tech stocks, but we're also going to slam them for being the hypocrites that they are. If, for example, Amazon, folks, I think if all of us chipped in $1,000, we could maybe do one contract with a long call diagonal. It's that expensive. So if you want a good proxy for technology, take a look at the XLK. If you've never heard of this, this is the ETF that tracks the tech stocks. And currently, as the XLK is made up, Apple is about 14 or 15% of the XLK. So look at this thing. And the Jan 20s are out. So in a couple minutes, when we look to place a couple trades, I'm going to get a vote. Because there's so many good trades I want to put on right now, but it's going to be mainly for the newer folks because I want to demonstrate some trades to these guys. Okay. So take a look write down these symbols. You guys know Apple, Amazon, Facebook, but if you've never heard of the XLK, I mean, look at that thing. This is the technology sector ETF. Let me give you a quick 1-minute speech on ETFs versus stocks. Stocks, folks, you have single stock risk. What's that mean? Love Facebook. Can't stand the dude. Love Facebook. Long Facebook out to Jan 20. Tomorrow we wake up and Mark Zuckerberg and his CFO are on an airplane to the Caymans with every dollar from Facebook and the stock implodes. You have single stock risk. Apple. Remember when Apple was crashing through 100 a couple years ago? Oh my God, it's over with for Apple. They're done. I'm like, what are you, nuts? I loaded the boat on Apple around 90 and that thing, I think, who was it? Rebecca, somebody wrote me like, you paid for my kid's college when we got into Apple and got out of it. So the XLK, you don't have single stock risk. You got Apple in there, you got Amazon, you got Microsoft, you got Intel. So it's a basket of stocks. The problem, okay, so it sounds better, Wiz. Maybe I want to be in an ETF and use the XLK as a proxy for the FANGs. Yeah, not a bad idea. The problem, folks, is when, not if, this market decides to implode, the liquidity getting out of an ETF is going to be tough. Facebook, FANGs, those things are their own stock markets. Does everybody know that Apple has its own VIX? Apple has its own volatility index. It's that big. So separate discussion. Don't want to take up too much more time. I gotta get some trades on here. We'll talk about all the stuff during your training. Okay. It's yeah, and exactly. And sometimes with the ETFs, there's not a lot of jet fuel in the options prices. But I gotta show you the good with the bad. Okay. Let's get back here. Financials. And again, folks, I have 5 sectors that you need to be in, but they're not in any particular order. It's not like text number 1. So, but financials, folks, I am a JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley lover. Love JP Morgan, love Morgan Stanley. Huge, huge. We closed a JP Morgan trade recently for a $38,000 gain. Dennis, I'm up 101%, $4,000 on our Jan 19 XLK trade. That is awesome. That's great. I can't stand Goldman Sachs. We've been in Goldman Sachs for years. I've been a lover of Goldman Sachs. But any guy who's got time to troll Trump on Twitter is a horrible CEO. Lloyd Blankfein. Last week, Dick Beauvais called for 3 or 4 months. I've been saying all this stuff, folks. I said Lloyd Blankfein has more time to troll Trump on Twitter. Maybe he's trying to run for president in Jan 20 than he does to worry about his fixed income, currency, and commodity trading divisions. Sell Goldman Sachs. Get out of it. It sucks. I am not long Goldman Sachs. I would be in JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley, guys, and we have trades in both of those right now in our model portfolios that are doing extremely well. Defense. Let me show you this trade from, when was it? A couple weeks ago. I like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and General Dynamics. One of the coolest things that Trump did here's what Trump did when he was overseas. He stood there with Prime Minister Abe in Japan and said, what? Billions. You're going to be huge. Buy huge, a lot of military equipment. Nobody buys military equipment better than me, but you better because huge. South Korea said they're going to be ordering billions of dollars worth of submarines. What happened? Say what you will about the dude, folks. You have got to be in a defense stock. Let me show you our most recent trade, Raytheon. Write this one down. So Raytheon imploded after earnings. Look at this. Holy crap, implosion. We had it's called a gap move, folks. Raytheon imploded down, and then look at this. Here's half the move right here. What did it do? Is this a dead cat bounce? Let me decide for a couple days. Nope, higher. And that, look at this. We put on a Jan, was it Jan 19 or Jan 20 long call diagonal right here, and now we're trading bull put spreads on the front month. Raytheon. Why do I like Raytheon over everybody else? It was a Jan 20. Cool. Thanks, Harry. And people are up, what, 12? What are you up, Harry, on your Raytheon position so far? We put this on right here, guys. Once I saw a little bit of green, it was off to the races. Whiz, this looks like a horrible chart. Oh, yeah? Take a look at Raytheon. Look at Raytheon over 5 years. I'm a military guy, folks. Why do I like Raytheon? For 15 years, I sat 3 feet behind a Raytheon radar. Probably not the most healthy place to sit. Raytheon is in all of the other stocks, a General Dynamics and submarines, a Lockheed, a Boeing. All of the electronics and stuff is Raytheon, folks. So General Dynamics, if you're bullish on them buying submarines, you go General Dynamics. If you like the F-35, maybe you go Lockheed. You don't, folks. Listen to me, and you go Raytheon. And when you sign up, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't have time to do it today, go look at the Raytheon trade and put it on. I think it was in the PLTB, wasn't it? Where's our Raytheon trade? FXI. There's our MGM. Maybe it was in accelerated retirement. Wherever it is, folks, Raytheon's a must. All right, let me get moving because I want to do some trades here. Energy, I just talked about. ExxonMobil, Conoco, or XLE. The XLE is the energy sector. Good, I'm saving time here. Now, finally, the last sector, because I get this often, folks. Wiz, what does a diversified portfolio look like? You're looking at it. You need an emerging market trade. I like the EWZ, which is Brazil. I like the EWJ, which is Japan. And then I hate to like these two. FXI, we just talked about, which is China. Write this one down as well. RSX. Yes, I'll say those all again, guys. Write these down. EWZ is Brazil. Why do I love Brazil? For various reasons, but I love it because of corruption. Oh my God! And I personally know the people involved in this scandal right here. For the past 2 years, I've done keynotes, at least 20 of them around the globe, for a company called JBS. JBS is one of the largest food companies in the world. I think it's number 1 or number 2. Unfortunately, the JBS executives, JBS Wesley Batista, one of the richest men in the world, right here, that's Wesley Batista. He's in jail, or he's out on jail with bail with his brother. That's his brother. There was a mass. Brazil police arrest JBS CEO Batista. I flew to London, had Thanksgiving with him with my son when I gave a speech in Wesley Stadium for JBS. What happened? They're on tape right here trying to bribe the president. What happens in Brazil? Oh my God, political corruption, scandal. My virgin ears. What happened, folks? Right, not here, right there, we got bullish on EWZ. Look at that run. Now it's kind of doing a little slide melt off here. We had a massive. Where's Kevin? Kevin, are you in here? Kevin is up 300 or 400% on his EWZ trade. A little bit of a sell-off. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit more. Kevin, 355%. And you know, you guys can't see the chat box. Let me do this real quick. I think you can see it if I do this. Dan, Brazil scandal. All right, good. When I take a screenshot, you can see this. Does everybody see this? Here's Kevin. Here's one of our members. 355%. Anybody, let me get a hell yeah if you'd love to be up 355% in one of your trades. And this is a long-term trade here. The other one you need to write down is EWJ. That's Japan. EWJ, Bank of Japan, Governor Kuroda, and Prime Minister Abe. Look at the EWJ over the past year. You have to be careful, though. You have got to be careful. Where's the other? Somebody else wrote something. I can take a screenshot of it. Where's the Apple? Somebody wrote down all their Apple stuff. Because again, I could be men lie, numbers don't. Well, where is it? Oh, Dennis, let me show Dennis's comment right here, guys and gals. Sorry, Dennis. Everybody see this? There's Dennis. When I was talking about Apple, I'm up 108%, $5,000. This is one contract, guys. So when people say, "Oh, Wiz, that's only a trade with I can only afford one contract," when one contract gets you $5,000, does that put a smile on anybody's face? Of course it does. So let me keep going here. David, what did I do with my Tesla trade? Nothing. I'm not. Well, let me talk about that in a second. Let me finish with RSX since we already talked about Japan. Or I'm sorry. Look at this. Holy crap! Russia collusion. It implodes. Holy whiz! Going. There's no collusion. There's nothing. It's all a lie. Rip your face off rally out of the RSX. So let me wrap up with this, and then we're going to put on some actionable trades. I just gave you all access, or did I? Here. Let me put this link in here, and everybody click on it and make sure you. Can't you see, guys? Oh, I'm sorry. I had it frozen for a second. That's my fault. Last thing I was talking about was RSX. So here's what I was saying. Russia collusion, oh my God, and me saying no collusion, let's get in RSX. right about here, right where that dot is, we got, I recommended RSX. These are Captain Kirk trades. Okay, these are the boldly go where nobody else is going right now. Let me slam myself real quick because I'm an easy target, and you too. Stevie Cohen, George Soros. Oh, he makes my skin crawl. Ken Griffin from Citadel. Carl Icahn. These guys didn't get rich by following me. They certainly didn't get rich by following you. So they go where people are not going right now, and they see value. These are the areas. So let me paste this in here. Everybody click on this link and make sure you have access to it because I made it public. You got to go watch this replay when you get a chance. I'm being very nice, man. What the hell happened to me? I'm doing a lot more charitable work too. Maybe that's what it was. I focused the past couple months on some good charity. Maybe that's what's going on. Click on that link and let me make sure you have access because you have to, when you get a chance today, watch this replay from that session. Here's an added bonus. So you're welcome. Okay, good. You guys can, awesome. All right, now we got a trade. We have I got about 2 trades in me. Now, this is a benevolent dictatorship, okay? I usually, just do this, but it's not opening. Tamara, you've been mellow since moving into your new digs. I do love this, man. I love the view of the beach, Fort Lauderdale. It should be public, guys. That post is public. Maybe, let me take a look at it again. It should be, what the hell's going on there? If it's not opening right now, guys, I'll make sure. Oh, it worked for everybody else. What the hell's going on here? Let me try it again. Give me 1 second. As I'm waiting to make sure you guys have access to this, it works. It's public. Yeah, Chris, I got that same database thing. Oh, that's what it is, Marilyn. Thank you. Marilyn's our techie. She's like, there's 8,000 people going to this link at once. It's going to crash the data. Let's move on. Let's get to trading. I'll make sure you have access to that. I'll put it in the replay. So let's not take any more time on that. Now, with everything that I've talked about this morning, I want to put on 2 trades. I want to put on a Jan 20, and I want to put on a front month. So let me, mainly since I want to take a sip of coffee and stop talking for a couple minutes, you're going to give me 2 symbols of of what I've talked about. I'm not trading what you trade. I trade what I trade. You should not be throwing darts, folks. You shouldn't wake up one day and watch Fox Business News and go, hey, this guy's talking about Gilead Sciences. I think I'm going to invest in that. And you're broke a week later. You deserve it. You need to trade a basket of stocks that you know like the back of your hand. I've been trading Apple since it was an acorn. You're going to give me 2 symbols. One of them is going to be a Jan 20 in one of those areas that I talked about. And then you're going to give me a front month trade. We're going to do 2 of them. So go. And let me see what's going on with the website. And then I'll come back and grab you guys. Okay. All right. Oh man, we got a lot of good answers. You need Elastic Cloud hosting. Oh my God, I don't even know what the hell that is. SPY, Apple, XLK, EWJ, RTN, Apple, Amazon, RTN, a lot of RTNs, JP Morgan, front month, XOM seems to be, I like that, Johnny. JPM and FXI, not too bad. Avgo, I have no idea what that is, Matthew, so I don't trade that. I don't trade another Raytheon. All right. You know what? Sold. Here's the first one. It's going to be XOM, and then I already picked the second month. All right, you ready? I'm going to cruise. I'm going to cruise through this tactic. Everybody pull out their trade plan. Step 1. Everybody pull out their trade plan. It's a PDF sitting there in the chat box. And remember, folks, without 8,000 people registered in, I throttle back, man. We do nice, calm, live trading sessions. This is a little fast and furious. If you don't feel like you're drinking from a fire hose, like in Navy flight training, I'm not doing my job. But to Maureen's point last night, I'm going to take all the time in the world during these live trade briefs to make sure everybody understands the tactic that I'm covering and the trade that I do. Today, I'm going to be cruising and hauling ass. So unfortunately, if I scrape you into the wall, it's not on purpose. That's why I need to sign up, because I'm going to teach you. Step one, everybody have their trade plan out. Everybody should have their checklist, their trade plan. Step one, what is my current strategic mindset? Let's go to the chart. I am cautiously bullish. Well, Wiz, it looks like we're rolling over a little bit here. This is the tax reform. This is the market is inoculating itself to the fact that there's a snowball's chance in hell that we're going to get tax reform passed. It's not going to happen. This is the market kind of pricing in that we're not going to get tax reform. And you know what? Before I do this, and yeah, you can watch the replay later, folks, if you miss something. I have to cover this because I'm doing a crappy job of missing it. Volatility. I'm surprised nobody asked for a volatility trade. I'll do that as my urgent alert tomorrow because I won't be distracted by 8 million people talking. This is the volatility index, folks. Look at the run in volatility. Hey, volatility's back. Remember this? VIX down to $9, $9.14. Oh my God, we might have had an 8 print. Here's your second wisdom of today. When volatility is cheap, you buy it. When vol is expensive, you sell it. Yesterday, in my weekly options live trade brief, I put on a bearish double vertical on volatility. Why? Because volatility will come in eventually. Bill, Senator Gates or Grassley said this morning that tax reform bill will be on Trump's desk by Xmas. Interesting. Andrew, very good question. How expensive is expensive? This is expensive. Historically, for the past 6 months, the lower teens is expensive. Can it go higher? Sure. Will it? I don't think so. When vol is cheap, you buy it. When it's expensive, you sell it. So here, guys, during this extended period of low volatility, we didn't get long vol. Why? Because I knew this was, we were like, it was crazy. North Korea, this 80,000 things could be going wrong, and volatility was going down. Once we started to get a little bit of a heartbeat, that's when, right around here, we started putting on bullish double verticals on VXX. If you don't know what that tactic is, I'll do that tomorrow for my urgent alert because I don't have time to do it today. But yes, so right now, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. If you're new to trading options or to Top Gun options, we have dueling trades on right now. We have a bullish double vertical out to what? December or November, end of November. And then I have a bearish double vertical out to next Friday. Whoa, Wiz. Now you're confusing me. No, listen to me. I don't know what's going to happen with tax, folks. So instead of guessing with the tax reform stuff, I do know that there's uncertainty around it. Senator Grassley said he'll have it by Christmas. Senator Cruz, Rhino John McCain, which needs to retire because the guy's a jackass, said it's dead on arrival. What does that tell me? Uncertainty. So we have you guys throw your bullish double vertical gains in the chat box, members. We have a bullish double vertical that is making a hell of a lot of money right now, but I also sold one out the next Friday because I think vols, once something is known, it's known. Between now and next Friday, we're going to have some clarity as to what's going to happen with the tax bill, and volatility is going to implode. Well, Wiz, what if it doesn't get passed? Won't vol explode? No, because something is known. Let me run this by you again. Once something is known, volatility implodes. If something is unknown, like right now, Saudi Arabia war, North Korea, tax reform not going to pass, it's unknown. Does that make sense? Mike, very long question. I'll answer that towards the end. Okay. There you go, Arthur. Look at the VIX today. Look at this. Big spike, and then now we sold off. All right, I just wanted to cover that, guys. But let me, and again, I can't stand the marketing aspect of this job, but my marketers are like, if you don't, you. So we have dueling VXX trades on right now. I'm bullish and I'm bearish, and you manage them, folks. You shuck and jive. Today, big spike in volatility. We could have gotten out of our VXX trade for a nice profit. And I think once something is known, once we know that tax reform, let me pull up VXX. VXX, there we go. 3-month chart. Look at this. We've had bullish double verticals holding right here at this line. Spike, spike, and then it's going to implode. Okay? That will be fine until they do it twice and then they get smacked. People buy every dip. Well, that's exactly right. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know me. I call it, we're waiting for the Fred Sanford. Grabbing your chest. It's the big one, Elizabeth. I'm coming. It's not a matter of if, but when this market is really going to do it. It wants a 3 to 5% correction, like General or Colonel Jessup and A Few Good Men. You want that 3 to 5% correction. You need it. I forgot to talk about vol. I just did it. But you have to become a member, folks. I'm not going to give you all my secret tricks. We have dueling trades on volatility on right now, and I think they're both going to be massively profitable. We did this around the Brexit. We did this around the Trump election. You are looking at one of the only financial professionals that said Trump is not only going to win, the market will rally 10 to 15%. Goldman Sachs, Citi. Hillary's going to win by 11 points, and if, God forbid, Trump wins, the market will implode 10%. Yeah, okay, dude. You came up with that, and you earned $50 million last year. You're retarded. Here we go. Arthur. Please hold my annual spot. Don't reply here. I will call office later. You have no idea why I had to wait to get going. Arthur, shoot an email to support@topgunoptions.com and we'll hold your annual slot. I'm getting to the XOM trade. I'm sorry, guys. I caught myself with volatility. Here's Arthur. I'll grab that, Arthur. Arthur K. Please hold my annual spot. Don't reply here. I will go. Oh. Well, I didn't reply there. I replied publicly, Arthur. Just do me a favor, Arthur. Shoot an email to support@TopGunOptions. I will hold one of the 25 slots for you. Okay, my friend. All right, back to XOM. I'm sorry, guys. I had to get to whoever said that. Yael Tanaka. My apologies, man. I had to talk about volatility, or I'd be a massive failure. So, all right, we're done with volatility. XOM. Everybody has their checklist out. Step 1 of my checklist, I am cautiously bullish. Step 2, the target is ExxonMobil. The symbol is XOM. Step 3, commit criteria. These are the 3 to 5 sentences that why am I committing capital to this trade? XOM, I am long-term bullish on ExxonMobil and the energy sector in general. ExxonMobil is supposed to double its revenue in the next year. It is exploring new alternative energies from fracking to even electric energy. And when, not if, there's a war in the Middle East, oil will spike to about $300 to $400 a barrel, and the energy sector will explode through the roof. Boom, drop the mic. That is how you do a commit criteria. Step 4, ladies and gentlemen, is the tactic. If you're not familiar with this, I'm going to change your life right now. We are going to write this down if you've never heard of this tactic. We are going to do a long call diagonal with a protective put. With this tactic, ladies and gentlemen, and it ain't a strategy, I can be bipolar, and so can I. Here's what I mean by that. We're going to hop in our time machine, and we're going to go out 2 years in ExxonMobil. In 2 years, folks, I think ExxonMobil is a $200 stock easily. But that's the back month. Well, guess what I'm going to be with the front month? I'm going to be neutral, maybe even a little bearish. So this tactic I'm going to teach you right now, folks, is a tactic where we can be long-term bullish on something and short-term bullish, bearish, or neutral. Long call diagonal with a protective put. You ready? Now it's time for me to cruise and ignore all the questions. Here we go. We're going to go out to Jan 20. Why? I want to give this trade as much time to work. On the right side of my screen, on this crappy E-Trade platform that I'm ditching to go to TradeStation, are the puts. I'm going to collapse the puts because I'm just going to deal with the calls right now. And I need to see delta. Let me scroll all the way down to, let's do 20 strikes. I'm going to scroll all the way down to Jan 20, and I want to find the option, the deep in the money option, closest to a 0.8 delta. Why? Real quick explanation of delta, folks. And again, you'll get this in your training. I'll give you the 1-minute explanation of delta. Delta is the rate of change in the prices of these options based on the rate of change in ExxonMobil. A delta, if this said 1.0, a delta of 1.0 means if ExxonMobil goes up $1 today, these options prices go up $1. It's a 1-for-1 change, a 1 delta. But obviously, folks, a 1 delta option is deep in the money. There's a lot of meat on the bones, right? Extrinsic, intrinsic value. And they ain't cheap. Okay, Wiz, well, using my brain here, a 0.5 delta is probably out of the money. You're right. And it's probably a hell of a lot cheaper. You're right. And a 0.5 is probably has half as much of a move. You'd also be right. That's delta. So what does Wiz do? After doing this for nearly a quarter of a century, I like to thread the needle and find the delta or the option, the deep in the money option that is closest to a 0.8 delta. So, there's a 0.83, there's a 0.78. You know what? I'm going to go with the 65 calls, okay? So here we go. Let's do a long call diagonal, and it's what, the 65s. So let me click on this. Now I'm going to build this trade. Let's do it together. Now, and guys, I see again. I have to get this trade on, guys. During my regular live trade briefs, I stop. We're talking. I'm answering questions. Not with this many people in here. Let me knock the tactic out. I'm going to buy. Let me just put 10 in here as a placeholder. Okay. I don't know how many contracts it'll be. The Jan 20 65 calls. Now listen to me, folks. You could just do this. Wiz, you had me at hello. I like your strategic mindset. I like your commit criteria. I'm just going to buy these deep in the money 80 delta calls, put them in my filing cabinet, and look at them 2 years from now. And you might make a lot of money, and you'd be stupid. No offense, folks. Buying these deep in the money 80 delta calls is like me running down the street here and going to the Fort Lauderdale Ferrari dealer and doing what? I'm cheap, man. Down here in South Florida, why don't we find a sugar daddy or a sugar mama, right? Why don't we find somebody to make some monthly payments on this car, this $250,000 Ferrari here? Plus, when you buy something, when you buy a car, when you buy a house, what's the first? As soon as you peel out of the Ferrari dealer's parking lot here in Fort Lauderdale, what happens to that car? Somebody tell me. What happens? Begins with a D. Exactly right. It's depreciation. You got it, Matthew. So there is a Greek when we talk about options called theta. It's called time decay. Andrew, everybody looks at it. Exactly. Folks, if you just buy these calls, you are suffering massive time decay. Think about this. If I pull out of the Ferrari dealership this afternoon in my $250,000 Ferrari because I'm having my midlife crisis, halfway down the street, my significant other calls and says, "Hey, Wiz, your midlife crisis is over. Take the car back." And I pull back out in the parking lot and I tell the dealer, "Hey, man, can you buy this back? My midlife crisis is over." The dealer's probably going to say, "What? You bet, Wiz, I'll buy that back for about 220 grand." Right? It's called depreciation. So why don't we do this? Why don't we sell what I call the front month? What the hell is the front month, Wiz? You're sitting in the front month, folks. November, December, January. Why don't we sell some front month upside calls? Okay, what the hell is the upside, Wiz? Well, who was it, Marilyn or whoever asked earlier about my rule of thumb of selling the front month upside calls? If I lost you before, if I lost you, now you're found. I'm going to sell. Since it looks like ExxonMobil's kind of leveling off like it did last time we were doing all those iron condors, I'm going to sell what is called upside calls, maybe the 83.5s or 84s. Since it's kind of rolling over here, My rule of thumb is to sell a front month upside call that is about 2.5 to 5% out of the money. But since we are going down a little bit here, I might even go pretty damn close to at the money. Maybe the 83s out a week. So let me do this. Everybody look at the price first of all. $18. Everybody remember this: $18.63 just to buy these deep in the money, all the way out in time calls. Now I'm going to sell the front month. Let's go out a couple weeks. Let's go out to December 1st and do the 84s, maybe the 83 and a half. 83 and a half. So look at this, folks. What did I do to my cost basis? I already made us a buck, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't this incredible? I already am making us money. What did I say? 1963. Let me do it again. Let's do the magic. Or I'm sorry, 1852. Very good year. 1852. Let's sell 10 of the, what did I say, December 1st? 83 and a half calls. Hello, 83 and a half. 1852 to 1814. I am bringing in a monthly car payment here, folks. Now, when I click, here's where I'm also going to change your life, the rest of your trading career, ladies and gentlemen. When I click on this snapshot button, this analyze button, I'm going to teach you as a Top Gun Options member that your eyes are only going to go to one place and one place only, just like Pavlov's dog. You ready for this? I want you to look at the unhappy face. I want you to look at max loss. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Max potential loss. Right here. It's kind of a small frowny face, but you see max loss? $18,000. Holy crap, Wiz. I thought you said last night you have an SOP based on $100,000. Andrew, how long will it take to understand this? Andrew, I do a full hour and a half long session on this tactic. I'm doing this in about 20 minutes. It doesn't take long at all, folks. And this is why I strongly recommend you open a paper trading account and just play with this stuff. Andrew, I briefed you on this last night, or make sure you watch the replay. Demo do. I demonstrate, open a paper trading account at TradeStation, Thinkorswim. You do. People usually paper trade for a month or two before they ever try it with real capital. You have to do it, folks. Don't do it with real capital right out of the gate. That's like reading a book on aerodynamics and then running out to the F-18 and trying to get airborne. You might be able to get airborne. You'll be dead in 5 minutes, and you deserve it. So, Andrew, it's not going to take long at all. Again, like I explained, Andrew, I'm kind of going through this fast because if I'd spend an hour and a half training you on a long call diagonal, and I do. That's why you join, Andrew, is because I will teach you this tactic in an hour and a half. Now I'm doing it in about 20 minutes because we got to move. Max potential loss, folks, is 18 grand. Now, some of you are probably sitting there like, oh, whoa, Wiz. You said these are $100,000 model portfolios. I did. You also said you didn't want to risk more than 5% of that model portfolio or 5 grand on any one trade. I did also say that. Then what the hell are you doing here? Ladies and gentlemen, what is the underlying risk of this? So you see this blue line? That's ExxonMobil. That's the stock price right now. What is the underlying risk in this trade? Everybody see that? That airplane's like flying into the dirt right now. You have to, that's exactly right. The underlying risk of this trade is what? ExxonMobil going to zero. Does anybody see what the probability of ExxonMobil going to zero in the next 2 years are? It's Mr. Blutarski's GPA from Animal House, 0.0. Though there is no chance in hell that there's probably like 20 decimal points and then a 1. But ladies and gentlemen, the E-Trade or the Options House Risk Department doesn't care that there's no chance it's going to happen. They are still going to margin or haircut you as if the trade's going to zero. So you know what I'm going to do? Check this out. I'm going to add, you ready for this, folks? Let's go back here and fix this trade. I'm going to add what is called a disaster put. I'm going to go out to Jan 20. Let's hop in my Hornet and go the speed of sound. and I'm going to buy a disaster put. What would be a disaster for me? Well, folks, most people say, you know what, if a stock or the market goes down 20%, that sucks. That's a bear market. That would be a disaster. So you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? I place what is called a disaster put about 20% below the stock price. 80 and 8 and 8, 16. Let's just say 20, 65. I went through that really quick. I'm throwing darts here, guys. Let's just say it's the 65 put. You can do the math really, really, really well, and but I'm doing the 65s. Does everybody understand that? 65 is good? Okay, good. I did something right. Now watch. This is the magic of options, folks. I'm not a sorcerer. There was nothing up my sleeve. When I click this analyze button, again, where did I tell you to put your eyes? You put your eyes in one place and one place only, and that is max potential loss. You ready? 3, 2, 1, $5,000. Come on, folks. Where's my golf clap? I reduced the risk in this trade from $18,000 to $5,000, right in line with my SOP, wasn't it? Thank you. How did I do that? No, folks, this is called a long call diagonal with a protective put. Because look at this. I placed a put in here that told Options House, hey, even if ExxonMobil goes to zero, I'm long a put underneath here, folks. This is called the disaster put. Everybody understand that, right? Isn't that freaking awesome? Amazing. I love this. Harry, it's called a tactic. It ain't a strategy. Harry, give me 50 push-ups. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the max potential profit in this trade is right here. Everybody look down. Let me show you my red little ball here. Everybody, you see this blank area right here? Keep your eyes there for a second. You ready? I got to do this. Here is your max potential profit before December 1st. It's $1,000 on those short calls. Okay? So if ExxonMobil stays below, what is it, the 83.5 calls, we make $1,000, but we also make the upside between this blue line and those short calls. Again, Andrew and folks that are sitting here going, I love this, but I'm a little lost on it. You get an hour and a half. Let me just show you guys. This is Options Weapon School, real quick. Let me show you. And then I'll finish this trades out. Tim's snickering at you, Harry. Strategy. Harry, man, we were in Tahoe together. You called that an option strategy. Actually, that's 100 push-ups. So Andrew, Options Weapon School Session 8, Iron Condors. Options Weapon School Session right here, long call diagonals and synthetic stocks. So Andrew, Matthew, all the people who are like, I think I really, really like this tactic, you get an hour to an hour and a half just on this tactic. How to employ it, everything, man. So this is, right now, I'm opening up the door to my squadron. This is, you're watching our normal flight operations. So if you're sitting here watching normal flight operations, you might feel like, holy crap. Don't feel like that, folks. I'm going to take you through Navy Flight School. I'm taking you through Options Flight School. Right now, you're just watching a normal day in the life of my members. So here's the max potential profit in this trade, which is right there. But guess what I'm going to do? Every couple weeks, we're going to sell front month upside calls in ExxonMobil and bring in those car payments. The same time that ExxonMobil is going up in value. Or even if it isn't, guys, what did I say I did before? Let me open the chart. We put iron condors on. So next week, when you're a member, guess what I'm going to do in the primary live trade brief as you're sitting here this time next week? We're probably going to put on a bear call spread as this thing goes down a little bit. And if it bottoms out in the lower 80s like it did before, we're going to put on a bull put spread. This is what we did, folks. This is called legging into an iron condor. So give me a vertical head nod. I know it's a lot. It's drinking from the hose. It's a lot. I get it. But this is awesome. Harry, just finished my 50 push-ups. I'll need a couple minutes to do another set. My bad. Still on my first cup of coffee. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, you ready for this? Let's do this. Yes, it was a let me finish the trade, guys. And here's what I'm also going to show you I'm going to do. First of all, this is a net debit, ladies and gentlemen. You're never going to get filled at the mid-market on this trade. Here's what Wiz does. I call it walking on up. Everybody see this right here? There's no way in hell you're going to get filled here. You're going to get filled immediately if you come in at the ask. Don't do it. You'll be down $200 to $300 immediately in this trade. I call this the Starbucks move, folks, even though I boycott Starbucks. You ready? What price do I go in? I don't know. I go somewhere between the mid and the ask. Let's say just 2070 right here. You know what I do? I'm going to get done here in a couple minutes. I'm going to go in the elevator. I'm walking across the street on Las Olas. I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to annoy people. I'm going to talk to strangers. And then I'm going to come back up here about 20, 25 minutes later and see if I'm filled yet. If I'm not, I'm going to walk it on up, maybe, I don't know, 5 cents. The objective here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Warren Buffett thing. You ready? Here's what I mean. Warren Buffett is a limousine liberal who I can't stand, but he has a very good quote. You ready for this? If you pay, listen to me, if you pay 1 penny more in federal taxes, you're an idiot. I think he says it nicer. But listen to me. If you pay more than you owe by 1 penny, you're stupid. If you pay 1 penny less, you're a felon, aren't you? So the mission objective in taxes and also a long call diagonal is to get filled where? Right at that sweet spot where the market maker sits there and goes, all right, enough. I'll fill this dude. If you come in closer to him or her, you're going to get the trade will already start down a couple. So does that make sense? It's called walking it on up. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Everybody sit here and watch. I do this. File. What I'm doing right now. So everybody watch this. I'm going to take a screenshot of the trade. You know why? Because what if you're not in here? I will send out a follow-up email to everybody, to all my members, with a screenshot of the trade. And let me grab this screenshot as well. And then in about 2 seconds, I'm going to send out a text alert. Isn't that cool, folks? So, hey, Wiz, I work every Tuesday morning. I took off today just so I could be, folks, 85% of Top Gun Options members work and can't attend all the live trade briefs. They watch the recordings. They watch the replays. And they are also sitting at work right now getting what? They're about to get a text alert as I send it out to them. I'll show you that. It's the 65 calls, 83 and a half, and that's to Dees 1 and the disaster play. Hey, isn't that funny? Folks, it just turned out this way. If you're staring at the screen going, wait a minute, the disaster puts are the same as the call, it doesn't matter, folks. These are the deep in the money 80 delta calls and the disaster puts both being at 65. That's just the way. It's interesting. It worked out that way. So don't sit there and go, Okay. Arthur, does the text alert contain blah, 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 blah? I'm going to show you what the text alert contains because you're going to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you, when you signed up to join me this week in Options Weapons School, gave us your cell phone number right here, in case you wanted to get text alerts. Let me, hold on 1 second. Need language on opt-in page for text alert and why we need number. I don't know why it isn't on there, folks, but if, the reason I asked for your cell phone number was to demonstrate, it used to say on here, I just Skype my texty. Oh, here it is, never mind. It's right there, it's on there, never mind. It's above it. It's at top. So here, let me demonstrate. Here we go. I'll send it to my members first, no offense, but they're paying for it. Primary live trade brief. So here's how the text looks. PLTB, new, XOM. So here's a couple things right at the beginning. I lead with what the portfolio is. It's the primary live trade brief. I say new because if this is a text alert for an existing trade, I'll put like update. Okay, so this says new. You ready? Let's go ahead and do this. New XOM long call diagonal with protective put. Okay, it's 10 contracts. I'm going to sell the DEES December 1st, 83.5 calls. I'm going to buy the Jan 20, 65 calls and 65 puts at, what was the price? I did 12. What was I walking it on up? 20.75. So again, folks, you'll be sitting in death by meeting. Walk on up from there. Let me just sanity check this. Primary live trade brief, new ExxonMobil long call diagonal with protective put, 10 contracts, sell the DEES 1, 83.5 calls, buy the Jan 20, 65 calls and 65 puts at a 20.75 debit, walk on up from there to get filled for Phil. Fire. That goes out immediately to my members, and I'm a Hair Club for Men member, so I also do what? There it is right there. Got it. Isn't that awesome? Now let me send it to the if you opted in, like I said, where's my promo options weapons school registrations. If you gave us your cell phone number when you opted in, folks, here's a free text alert for you. Don't put your phone number in the chat box right now, guys. I'm not adding your phone number. You needed to do it at the beginning, and you need to be a member. John, absolutely. Do you keep selling the short months and try to ride them to expiration? Absolutely. John, when you become a member, John, I manage all these, man. This is my job as a portfolio manager. I manage those front month upside calls. Hey, let's get out of them. Let's roll them up. Let's roll them out. Let's roll them up and out. Let's just get out of them. Let me show you a perfect example, guys, of some trade management. For the past couple weeks, or the past couple, months, JP Morgan's a good example. This thing, where is it? Right here. Let me get rid of these lines. So we're in a JP Morgan long call diagonal. This was a tear. So JP Morgan went on a tear for about 3 weeks. I didn't do anything, John. I sat on my hands and I enjoyed. We're running out of time here, guys, but those 0.8 delta calls go deeper in the money as JP Morgan goes up in value. So they become a 0.85, a 0.9, and eventually those JP Morgan calls become a 1 delta call. They got meat on the bones and they're printing money. So this is a tear. We didn't do anything. When JP Morgan leveled off, we sold some front month at the money calls. And then this was a little bit of a climb schedule. And now with JP Morgan going down, I'm selling at the money calls. So John, very good question. We manage the shit out of the front month calls. Mark, Wiz, great to be back in XOM. If it's on a tear, why not be long with a call? Arthur, we are long with a call. We are long with deep in the money 80 delta calls. Awesome. Yeah, folks, I got the text, so everything's working on my end. There it is right there. Can you see? I don't know if I can see my window. There it is. There's the text alert, folks. So all my members got it, and if you gave me your number when you opted in, you got it too. If you did, so we got to get moving. Jay, so am I understanding this correctly? This is a trade covered call using synthetic stock. It is exactly not that. Ladies and gentlemen, so whoever asked that question, this during Options Weapons School session number 7, those are two completely different tactics. A long call diagonal is not synthetic stock, and synthetic stock is not a long call diagonal. They are similar, but you ready for this? They're completely different. So no, this is not synthetic stock, but we do synthetic stock. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a current position on MGM that is synthetic stock. Members, give me your MGM gains. Type them in the box. So again, this was a Gordon Gekko trade, folks. People get mowed down at Mandalay Bay. It breaks my heart. Unfortunately, people got killed. Being Gordon Gekko, I don't care. We sold bear call spreads, and then we put on a Jan 20 synthetic stock. So Harry's up 54% on his MGM. How about some of my other members? How are we looking on your MGM position? So, Gottlieb, very good question, folks. You can leg into this trade. You could put this on as 3 individual legs. You could just do the long call with the protective put. You could, but ladies and gentlemen, the market recognizes this as a long call diagonal with protective put. You should be able to get filled just like this. Let me take a screenshot of this, guys, real quick so I can show all the people that are sitting in here. So Harry, everybody look at this. Everybody can see this, right? These are member gains, folks. I'm not making this shit up. So there's Harry. I met Harry out in Lake Tahoe, man, a couple weeks ago at our live event. Harry's up 54% in his MGM position from a couple weeks ago. Judith, 69% on MGM. These are live testimonials, guys. This ain't some dude with a bunch of testimonials on a slide. Those are my members. Loving MGM. So look at this. We did synthetic stock out to Jan 20 on MGM. Synthetic stock is not a long call diagonal. Okay. Mark, that's a longer question, man. Maybe tomorrow night we'll get into that one since the market's open. Mark's just curious, Wiz. I actually enjoy your rants, even if I sometimes disagree. Still like the enthusiasm, and at least you have a belief system that you are not milquetoast. What is your opinion of banning assault weapons and bump stocks, etc.? Mark, that's you and me over a beer, my friend. I have a lot to talk about. Tim says, has Harry finished his push-ups? Steve, what is synthetic stock? Steve, I'm going to throw my marketing hat on. You're going to have to join, and I will give you the MGM synthetic stock trade. I will teach you what synthetic stock is. I spent an hour on synthetic stock. We have about 17 minutes left. But synthetic stock, Steve, the 30-second answer is when you sell a put and buy a call with the same expiration and same strike, we can be long stock using options. I'm going to teach you how to do that, Steve. So you're gonna want to join this week because we have a synthetic stock position on MGM that is doing incredibly well. I just showed you 2 members. One's up 50% and one's up 69 on synthetic stock and the front month trades on MGM. Deal? Let me show you. Robert, the Dees 83.5 calls is in 17 days. Yes, absolutely. Dennis, I have no objections to doing synthetic stock instead of the long call diagonal. Absolutely, Dennis. Actually, I do whichever one's cheaper, to be honest with you, whichever one is less of a debit. I don't have time to map out the synthetic stock. I wanted to get another front month trade on before we got out of here. Guys, there's a ton of great questions on this tactic. You just do me a favor and join. At least do a month-to-month membership and kick the tires. So here's a perfect example of how to trade the hell out of something. Horror in Vegas. Isn't it creepy, folks? Has anybody heard a word about Vegas? The guy sets up machine gun nests, man. They were having daily press conferences. You haven't heard a word. Creeps me the hell out. MGM implodes. Bear call spread, bear call spread, bear call spread. Right here, I said, you know what? There's no way in hell MGM or any Las Vegas hotel is going to have TSA security. Not that I brought anything into a hotel in Vegas that would be considered untoward, but guess what? That would end Vegas. So my strategic mindset, bearish, bearish, bearish. Right around here before earnings, I said, screw it. I said their earnings call, they're most likely going to turn into what? Cheerleaders. Vegas is safe. Please come to Vegas. So I will teach you folks how to trade the hell out of an event and then get long like this. John, church shooters the same because libs don't want bad press for Islam. What the F? John, you and I are, I don't disagree. So, all right. Yeah, I'll put this trade up again real quick. Guys, I got 15 minutes left. I'm not going to zip through a front month trade, but there's a couple no-brainers. And no offense to the people here for free, I want to talk to my members, especially about the Tesla trade we have on right now. This the, this Tesla trade. So Tesla sucks. I got to be honest with you, man. It's over with. So this, it went down on earnings, but it also went down on what? The Republican tax plan is going to take away the electronic, what is it, they're coming after all this electronic crap. Republicans and this stuff, man. Anybody remember a little company called Solyndra that Barack Obama gave a shit pot of money to? And then it's gone. Google Solyndra. Anyway, folks, Elon Musk and the barriers to entry. I get it, folks. I live in Fort Lauderdale. My 3 kids live up in Boca. I see Teslas. For the past couple of years, it used to be cool. It was a badge. It's like the ladies who wear Lululemon and they don't even know what yoga is or what the inside of a gym is. It's a fad. Tesla's a fad. BMW, Porsche, all these other luxury brands are all coming out with some Gucci, really, really cool electric cars. Plus, Elon Musk robbed Tesla to pay, didn't he? He like took a shit pot of money from Tesla and gave it to his, the hell's the name of his other crappy company? Sell the hell out of Tesla. Tesla popped yesterday because Thursday he's unveiling some driverless trucks or something like Solar City. Yeah, exactly. So guys, yeah, exactly, Mark. Does anybody remember the DeLorean? So ladies and gentlemen, this is Arthur. I get the Arthur, SpaceX isn't crap. I never said SpaceX is crap. You misheard me, man. I've never even mentioned the word SpaceX. I think Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk going into space, the civilian effort is laudable, Arthur. I don't know where you're getting. I said SpaceX is crap. NASA. I love government. I love less government and more private sector doing what the government sucks at. NASA is a bureaucracy. It's embarrassing. One of my best friends I went through flight school with, Scott Tingle, is an astronaut. He's over in Solar City, Russia, or whatever, and he's going up to the space station. How embarrassing that we as Americans have to hitch a ride on a Russian or Chinese rocket. So that's not what I said, guys. I love the space exploration. I'm talking about Tesla. Tesla's a crappy stock, and it's going down. So, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, this is for my members. I got to go and ignore for a second for other folks. Folks, we have a good bear call spread on, and if JP's still in here, yesterday in the weekly options brief, he said, "Hey guys, it's Monday. Chill out. This trade expires Friday." This will be a sell on the news event. The news is already out there that he's doing something on Thursday. The only way this stock goes higher, is if he really, really, really does something cool on Thursday. He already announced what he's going to do. The news is already out there, folks. That's why the thing popped. Does anybody ever hear the Wall Street ism? I think it'll be a sell on the news event, buy on the rumor, sell on the news. This is why I'm hanging in this trade. So for my current members in this Tesla trade, you're the pilot in command of your own portfolio, man. You sign for your jet. Literally, before every F-18 flight, folks, I'd go down to maintenance control. I'd read the maintenance log for the jet I was assigned, and at the last page, it had name and rank and date. E. Matthew Buckley, Lieutenant, United States Navy, with the date. I own the airplane. I cannot give you personalized trading advice. I'm hanging in this trade. I absolutely think that's going to be a sell on the news event on Thursday, unless he comes out and says not only do these trucks do this, but they also have teleportation devices. Does that make sense? Tim, yeah, the pop was for the truck announcement. Which is the link for joining your services? Tudor, I appreciate the question. I don't open up the member slots until tomorrow. Okay, I mean, people wanted to grab a slot last night, and we didn't even talk about any actionable trades. I think that's a pretty cool metric. I appreciate that. But folks, I don't start selling. I fire the gun tomorrow on the annual slots, Tudor. So if you can't make it, make sure you watch the replay. But I'll send out an email with the link to join. Okay, we open 25 annual slots, and then if we have a couple monthlies left over, if we don't fill all the 25 annual slots, I open up monthly slots on Thursday, okay? But let me finish on Tesla here, guys. Every day, every second that I'm mumbling about Tesla right now, we are making money. Why? This is a bear call spread here, folks. Remember this, we get theta. When you sell something, this long call diagonal, remember I talked about the Ferrari dealer down here. When you're I like being the house. I like being folks, the Ferrari dealer, the MGM Grand or the Mandalay Bay. Casinos don't look the way they look because they're charities, because they give away money, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be the house. So with this bear call spread, as I'm talking to you, we're still getting theta. We're getting time decay. So here's these. It's wallowing around here, guys. I have no problems hanging on to this trade. It's Tuesday, okay? And we're, you know, and what's the other macro? What's the other operational macro event this week that could cause this market to sell off? Somebody help me out. CP, get in the ready room, guys. No, exactly, Judith, the tax reform. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's one of the benefits when you become a member. And Tudor, Arthur, we already have, it looks like we're already going to have, 5 of the annual memberships gone. People are already wanting to join. There's something called the Ready Room on my website. You see this? The Ready Room is where people go and interact. In a fighter squadron, the Ready Room is where you hang out in between, flights. And I learned the most about flying and fighting the F-18 by sitting in the Ready Room, by listening to older pilots, by younger pilots, by talking to my peers. So the Ready Room, folks, is our interactive forum where we hang out in between the live trade briefs and we talk. So Mr. Wallace, who's asking about Tesla, look, Sylvana's in here, Kevin's in here, Jason, Wiz. Oh, wait, I know that guy. Wallace, Kevin jumped in here again, Jason. So there's a lot of folks going. So we talk about this stuff offline. So whoever was asking about some Tesla stuff, get in the Ready Room. Okay. Arthur, I do think the technology is cool, but guys, listen to me again. It doesn't matter if the technology is cool, Arthur. Let me read what Arthur wrote. This is pretty cool, though. I appreciate this, Arthur. It can tow a diesel truck uphill, and never gas up again while the guys. I got to be honest with you. I'd be bearish on the trucking industry. Right now, the trucking industry, if you ask Warren Buffett, has a glut of drivers. They can't hire, they have no drivers. They're willing to pay these guys a shit pot of money right now to be an 18-wheeler driver. And you know what? In 3 years, that dude will be unemployed, eating dog food. I'm not kidding. In 3 years, these 18-wheelers will be driverless. They won't be sitting at the rest stop sleeping at 3 in the morning. They won't need to sleep because there won't be any they. It will be driverless. I get it, folks. So technology, advances in technology can be a good thing. It is going to end tens of thousands of jobs. How many there's a McDonald's down here in South Florida that already has burger flippers. They ain't human. They're machines. So you want that $15 an hour minimum wage, you're also going to be unemployed. So, Steve, why don't you use a bear put spread on Tesla? Guess what, Steve? Join, and we're going to talk about that. After this rollout on Thursday, I'm going to pound the hell out of Tesla into the dirt. We're going to do a bearish double vertical on Tesla. I'm not doing just a bear put spread. I'm going to do a bear call spread and a bear put spread. So again, a little bit too much time on Tesla, but this is an open position for my members. I am holding. So CP and everybody else, if you're a little frosty on this, you know what, Wiz? I think it might be a sell on the news event. Maybe roll it out the next week. Maybe roll that existing spread out the next Friday, because it ain't. And to Arthur's point, this isn't Tesla only technology, folks. This isn't like an iPhone. The iPhone 10 is a unique iPhone. I get it. Anybody can make a driverless 18 freaking wheeler, folks. Peugeot, Mack truck, Ford, everybody's going to have one. So when you talk about a Tesla, it's done being a really neat, look at me pull up to the mall in Boca, a cool thing. It's over with, folks. Everybody else is going to come out with one of these things. You bet, Brent. You're welcome. So, exactly, Paul. Self-driving trucks are delivering to Walmart now, folks. So yeah, it's over with for Tesla as far as the cool factor. It was cool. I like the space stuff. I like the Jeff Bezos, Amazon space stuff, and all that stuff. But as far as remember, folks, I'm Gordon Gekko and I'm Lieutenant Matthew Buckley. I'll give you my opinion as an American. It breaks my heart. Truckers are going to be out of. I mean, hell, we could have pilotless airplanes right now, folks. When I flew for FedEx for 10 months, FedEx and UPS aircraft are the only airplanes certified by the FAA to do a 0-0 landing. Listen to me real quick. That means zero visibility. You couldn't even see out of the front of the cockpit. It's so foggy or dark. Zero visibility and zero ceiling, meaning like sitting in a bowl of milk. It can auto land, folks. And there's obviously the technology to taxi. But do you think any human being in this country is going to get on an airliner that has no pilot on board? Not in my lifetime, maybe in my kid's lifetime. That's not going to happen. But driverless trucks, they absolutely will. Kathy, what about self-governing Democrats? They don't work anyway. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my God, David. Let's save that one for our next member brief. Kathy, you get the humor of the. Kathy gets a gold star for the humor of the day. Let me show everybody that one. Kathy, I don't recognize your name. If you're not a member, that's some funny stuff. All right, folks, I have 3 minutes left. I didn't get a chance to get on a front month trade. I had to cover some member stuff. Again, you're joining for the thousands of people who are joining us. You're getting to watch in on our regular primary live trade brief. I would have covered a hell of a lot more positions because we have a hell of a lot more existing positions, but all of them are doing good. The only one that's quote unquote a little in danger, and I don't call it danger, is this Tesla trade. We have a bear call spread on that expires Friday, but I just beat this one to death. I'm not doing anything, man. I'm sitting on my hands. But this is one of those moments, folks. I'm glad you're getting to see this. You know, this is how we make sausage, man. This is a live trade brief, and I'm talking to my members about this stuff. David, Iron Condor on what? VLO? I don't trade VLO. I'm not a VLO guy. I can pull it up. Valero. I worked for NO or did consulting. I'm not a VLO guy. I couldn't help you with that moment. Rob, you know what? It is a lucky strike moment. And let me use that analogy for the people who don't get it. Anybody ever watch the old World War II movies where a guy gets shot in the chest and he screams for the medic and the medic comes running up, and what's he do? He gives him a lucky strike, man. He gives him a filterless cigarette. This is one of those moments where just take a drag on that filterless cigarette and hang out. I used the term earlier. I am not going to prematurely eject from this trade. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, it did get around my eject level for the trade. It was definitely around my adjust level. And you know what I did? Nothing. The front page, let me close out with this. The front page of every Navy flight manual. The flight manual, we like to say, we don't like to say, we do say, is written in blood. And here's what I mean by that. Somebody gooned something up before you and is either dead or seriously hurt or the airplane's gone, and they made a procedure out of it. So, but on the first page of every Navy flight manual, it has a paragraph that says something like this. Nothing in this manual can take the place of good headwork and judgment by the pilot in command of the aircraft. What does that translate into trading? Meaning, it hit my adjust and eject level yesterday, but using my brain as an aviator, as a trader, I said, it's Monday. The dude said, hey, Thursday, I'm going to have this cool announcement. Or not announcement. He already made the announcement. He's actually going to show us the stuff on Thursday. Unless it reanimates Tim Cook, I don't think the stock's going to rally on it. All the news is out there, folks, about what he's going to show us. So this is a perfect example, folks. Perfect example to do what? Adjust and eject criteria, Wiz. I'm grabbing my cigar. I'm opening the canopy to my trading cockpit, and I'm sticking out my scarf, and I'm hanging in this trade. You have to be the pilot in command in this trade. I'm hanging, man. I've been doing this for too long to prematurely eject when the dude announces what he's going to do 4 days before it. Does that make sense? I thought it was some booze. Patrick, great session to match last night. Congrats. Hey, you know what, Patrick? I don't know what's going on, man. I feel pretty damn good. maybe I gotta I gotta up the dosage. So there's or no, that was let me show you what I appreciate that, Patrick. I'm enjoying this, man. Arthur, let me see if I can find the portfolio. Yeah, whoever just asked. So that's what Patrick just had to say, folks. Let me show you the replay page where you can watch last night. If you did not watch last night's in brief, make sure you do it. Here's what I promise you I'm going to do. Since I ran out of time today, I'm going to do a video trade alert tomorrow, not a live trading session, because I have a live trade brief tomorrow. It's called Accelerated Retirement at 1 o'clock. That's just for members. That's not part of this Options Weapon School. But I'll do a video tomorrow for you all, for all my Options Weapon School folks who have opted in. I'll do it on volatility, and it'll be a nice 20-minute video because I'll hook you up since I went a little long today. So here's the replay page, whoever just asked for it. This replay will be up here shortly. I will send out an email with the screenshot of the trades. And like I said, if you gave me your cell phone number earlier, you should have gotten a text alert on me. It is a good deal for them. Always great whiz. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Real quick, like I said, tomorrow, where's the rest of the flight schedule? So here's what you guys have going on. Let me just show you. Potential bonus urgent alert. I'm going to actually do that. So let me delete that. So tomorrow I'm going to send you out an urgent alert. Let's do it on volatility, on vol. Tomorrow night, we're going to open the slots. So Arthur, Maureen, all the people who have been asking for slots, tomorrow night is when I'm going to open annual slots. And then if we don't fill all of our 25, Thursday, you want to come for the weekly options brief, folks. I'll open any remaining slots to month, folks. Does that sound cool? Charles, if you didn't get the text alert, thanks for the incredible training. You're welcome. Email support@topgunoptions.com. Support@topgunoptions.com. Andrew, tomorrow night you will learn what the annual price is. The annual price of Options Weapon School was the weekly options profit last week in our Amazon bull put spread. Tomorrow night, man, I'll send you guys the link to sign up tomorrow. So the annual price was this bull put spread that we made max profit on last week. Real quick, guys, does everybody have access to that weekly options? This is a must watch, folks. Is this working yet? This one. I made it public. Is this working for everybody? Watch this post or watch this replay. Let's try this again. It works. Let me do this one more time. Let me paste this in here. I think Marilyn or whoever our techie said before, 8,000 people just went to that page. That's pretty cool. And again, folks, only 25. So I like the energy that a lot of people are wanting to get on board right now. We're having a blast, man. If you can't tell, I'm very passionate about what I do. But take a look at these. Here's your homework before you sign up for Options Weapon School. Watch this replay video and take a look at these sectors you need to be in. If you're not in a defense stock right now, it's got to be Raytheon, guys. Please take a look at Raytheon. Okay? Arthur, 8,001. Harry, I'm already over by 4 minutes, man. I kept you guys way too long, and my apologies. Sybil, let me read Sybil's. I had the privilege this weekend to take a photo with a World War II vet, 101 years old, and still fits his uniform. It was an absolute honor. Thank you for your service. Sybil, I appreciate that. Like I said, when I went to, my daughter Keely took me to Denny's. She's like, Dad, for Veterans Day, I want to take you to Denny's. I'm like, okay. So I got my shots, and I went to Denny's. And we met a guy from Omaha Beach, man. And he and I both, I shook my head. I said, how old were you? I think he said he was 17 or just turned 18. And I'm terrified, folks. I'm terrified that this country is full of a bunch of 17, 18, 19-year-olds that will not defend their country. A nation, a generation raised to disrespect its flag and its country will never defend it. But here's my 17-year-old right there. There's Edward Matthew Buckley Jr. And then here's my boy, Jack. That's in the ready room of my fighter squadron in Fort Worth, and he was playing foosball, and he scored on his father. So, Sybil, hopefully our country has a better future than what we're looking at right now. So exactly, Harry. Yeah, ask tomorrow, man, in accelerated retirement because we ran out of time. So all right, folks. Awesome. I had a great time today. Thanks, Wiz. Great session today. Got to go. Hope the rest of your day goes well. Appreciate you. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. So, folks, there's the replay page. I'll get the replay up here shortly. Tomorrow, I'll send out a free trade alert on volatility. Tomorrow night, we'll do a training session. So, for all the folks who are, holy crap, that long call diagonal was a little confusing. Tomorrow night, I'm going to give you a sample session of what you're going to get with the academics here at Top Gun Options. And then I'm going to open annual slots Thursday. If there's any left, we'll open up some monthly, folks. And then we're going to get airborne Thursday with or without you. And then we won't be doing options weapons school maybe until the beginning of 2018. Okay. John, it's Cowboys weekend. Don't even bring that up. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate that. And I hope, Matthew, it looks like you're going to be joining too as well. So, Arthur, thanks for including us. You could have just been a billionaire. Arthur, let me end on this, man. My father, who I miss every day, he died strong as an ox when he was 65 years old. My dad died getting on a treadmill, if you can believe it. This is why vets are mad about Bergdahl. That dude went looking for him, and he's a quadriplegic. 6 people died looking for that piece of shit, and he should have been executed. But anyway, my father, Arthur, said somebody's always got a bigger boat. So if you're sitting on your 150-foot yacht and a 300-foot yacht comes by and you go, oh my God, man, you're never going to be happy. So Arthur, I made it on Wall Street. I feel great. Even if I didn't do Top Gun Options, I'd be doing this anyway for myself. So I decided to, hey man, let me open a webinar room and let people, let's all be friends and figure this shit out. So I appreciate it, Matthew. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I'll get the replay out here shortly. I'll get you an email with the screenshot of that ExxonMobil trade, and I'll see many of you. I'll see my members tomorrow at 1 o'clock for accelerated retirement. You want to be a member going forward, but if you're not a member, I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for the vertical spread training. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, folks, and God bless. And final thing, I'm about to shoot my daily sit rep, which is my free market video. If you didn't sign up for the sit rep yet, do it right here. go.topgunoptions.com/sitrep. And you can get access to my daily. It's free. It's even if you don't, you know what, Wiz, I ain't going to join. I don't know why you wouldn't do that, but there's the link to the sit rep. And I'm going to go do my Starbucks walk, and then I'm going to come back and shoot my sit rep. So, or if you just want to, you can also do this. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel where I do all my videos. Where's my channel? Right there. There you go. Here is all, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel too. It's up to, well, I think it's easier just to do the sit rep since it gets automatically emailed to you. Yeah, just, do that. Just sign up for the sit rep because it does. It gets mailed to you. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna hit Starbucks. I'm gonna come back, look at my ExxonMobil trade. I'm gonna shoot my sit rep, and then I'm gonna go see my kids. All right, guys, God bless, and I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.